Hi! When you think of cards with hearts, you probably think of Valentine's Day, but today you're going to see they can be so much more as I demonstrate for you my handmade card with hearts using the new Stampin' Up! Country Bouquet stamp set and coordinating Country Bouquet punch. Heart stamps are nice, but I always felt like they were meant for just pretty much Valentine's Day, wedding cards, and maybe anniversary cards. But there's just something very different about the Country Floral stamp set, and I'm so excited to demonstrate for you my clean and simple handmade card with hearts. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 21 years, I've been teaching others how to create their own hand stamped smiles. So I got one design in a color and I just thought, oh, this is so awesome. And then I tried two other colors. Well, I'll demonstrate one for you, but stick around to the end and I'll show you the card in all three colors. Here's a closer view of the Country Bouquet stamp set and the coordinating Country Bouquet punch. Did you catch that? The punch has the same name as the stamp set. So this is a little thing, but it makes me excited. I knew starting with the January through April 2023 mini catalog that the coordinating dies would have the same name as the stamp set. Boy, that's just going to avoid a lot of confusion. And I just discovered that the punches too. I looked them all up, went, oh, that's cool. So like I said, it's a little thing, but it'll make it easier for our shopping and certainly easier for me to remember the names of everything as I'm recording videos for you. And so these two are offered in a bundle. And so when you use this special bundle item number I have listed right here, you'll save 10% on both. Those bundle savings can really add up. So the Country Bouquet bundle is from the January through April 2023 Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. And it is part of a suite. Look at all these beautiful, well, it got nice projects, and the suite, well, it includes everything you see on this page using one item number. And so it just makes it really easy for your shopping, but you still get the bundle discount in that. And so this is what I'm saying, whenever there are coordinating dies or punches, look to see if there is a bundle offered because like the savings do add up. So okay, so if you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to just go ahead and do the die cutting and get that out of the way so then we're ready for the stamping and assembling. So let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and I wanted a label die for my handmade card with hearts and I chose the Scallop Contours dies and I want to use this one. All right, so this is a thin metal die, so we need to build up what's called a sandwich to the appropriate thickness. So I'm going to start with plate number 1, and everything I'm showing you, other than the dies, are included with the purchase of Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And you don't need to memorize what I'm telling you because it's all printed on here. So anyway, we start with plate number 1, and then because it is a thin metal die, we need plate number 2, and then we need a plate number 3, a cutting plate. Okay, so next our cardstock. And I've got mint macaron cardstock. Okay, and then our die. Now that raised edge that you feel, that's the cutting edge. Go ahead and place that down. I don't need precision for this. I'm not framing an image. I'm not centering it around an image. I just need to make sure it stays on there. And the best way I know to do that is when I use a plate number 3 is to place it on there and not scoot it. Then it doesn't slow me down. I don't need to use any kind of adhesive like washi tape or a Post-it note. And then it cranks through so nicely. And then look at that. We get this scallop rectangle with stitching around it. That just makes it extra fancy. Our die cutting's done. Now we're ready to create our card bases. And for that, I'll be using the paper trimmer. And I have a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock here in the mint macaron, just like for my label die. So I want to cut this in half. I'll get 2 card bases out of 1 sheet. So it's 11, so half of that is 5.5. So I'm going to slide this in. All right, so there's the 5-inch mark, and there's the 6-inch. Halfway in between that longest line, well, that's the 5.5. We're going to place it on the line, not next to it, on it. And we're butting up against this lip here, it squares it off. If you try to come down here, you're gonna think you're straight, but how do you really know? And so it just makes it really easy. Just butt it up to there. And then there are 2 blades with this. The dark is the cutting blade and the light gray is the scoring. And I'll show you that in just a minute. So we're just gonna pull this over and like that, we have 2 card bases. Now, this scoring blade is really important. And so we're gonna slide this in. There we go. Now this is 8.5, so we wanna score this in half, and that'll be at 4 1/4. So we know that that longest mark between the 2 numbers is the half. Well, half of that is 4 1/4. So we're going to the second longest line. We're going to set it right on there, butt it up against here, and score. All right, so you may be thinking, that's not a big deal, but it really is. It puts a line in there, that crease. So when you fold it, if you don't do this, it's all crinkly. And it's not a good look. This prevents that, okay? And so no one taught me about scoring which way to fold it. And so my thought was, it's already going that way, let's just go with it. Others will go the opposite way. You know what? I think whatever floats your boat. All right, and so I always line the 2 up. I mean, this is cardstock. You know, it's hand cut, and then we're hand cutting it. So if it's not perfect, this is going to really help. And then I use my bone folder and go along here and just get that good crisp fold. And see, that just lays down so nicely if I wanted to stamp on it. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, that really helps. All right, so let me show you another thing with the paper trimmer. I'm using the Country Gingham 6x6 designer stage paper, and I want a 2-inch strip. And so the first one I cut, I just went to 2 inches and cut it. Well, as I started doing, I told you I ended up using other colors. I got a lot smarter, and I'm going to show you how those smarts are, because by then I had decided what size. I wanted 4 by 2. And so if I just cut this at 2, I can only get 3 out of here. All right, but this is square. If I go ahead and cut this at 4, so we're placing it right on that line for 4. Now I'm going to get 3 out of this, right? Because we were going at that 2 inches, and 2 times 3 is 6. I'm getting, by making that cut, whoops, that's the scoring. By making that one little adjustment, I'm getting another card I'll be able to make out of one 6x6 sheet and have very little left over. I'm going to have quite a few 2x2 pieces when I'm done, and maybe I'll come up with something clever for that. But there we go. And 4 instead of 3. So that's going to make your Country Gingham paper go a lot further if you decide to make my handmade card with hearts. Now we're ready to stamp. The Country Bouquet stamp set, well, it's a photopolymer stamp set, meaning that the rubber is clear, and that's so you can build the image where these two will work together. You've got the flowers and then the stems a different color. Awesome. All right, so whenever I'm using photopolymer stamps, they're very pliable. I can take and put these out of shape. Well, I really don't want to do that because I'm going to be punching. So go ahead and place it. And then you'll want to use one of our wonderful clear mount blocks. They've got these grooves on the side. There's not a sharp edge, very comfortable to hold on to, and just take the stamp to it. And we're all set. Okay. And I'm going to be using Sweet Sorbet Classic Stampin' Pad. This is one of the 21, 23 in colors, and we'll be retiring this year. So if you don't have this yet, go ahead and stock up. And if you do, make sure you get the refill and start getting cardstock. I mean, we know it's retiring. Celebration's a great time to do that. And celebration, well, if you're watching my video tutorial in January, February 2023, it's celebration time. And it's just the best next to Christmas. This is when we get the gifts. Christmas, we're running around making everyone else's Christmas great. This is when we get the gifts. And for every 50 or 100 in products we order, we get to pick something out of here absolutely for free. It's just so cool. Okay, So, and this is a great time, like I said, to stock up on those retiring end colors. We know it's coming. It's not a surprise. Why you can get free gifts. And talking about colors, you know, Stampin' Up! Told us over 10 years ago that every 3 to 5 years they'd refresh the colors. Well, it's been 5 years. I don't have any official knowledge. I'm just doing math. So you might want to just start loading up on any of your favorites. Anyway, okay, so the Sweet Sorbet Classic Stamp Pad. We're going to pick up that lid, slide that in, okay? All right, and so go ahead and ink this. And come over here and stamp just straight up and down. Oh, isn't that sharp? Now I have this extra long. I always make it extra long so I have something to hang on to when I'm punching. And out of this, I'll be able to get 2 of them. So that'll be really convenient. All right, and so now our country bouquet punch. It's the little things. I'm just so easy to please. All right, so what's so cool about the coordinating punches are we stamp and then we can punch it out. Oh, and I wanted to show you something. I did that quickly. So our punches are really awesome. Now I use 2 thumbs to push this forward because, you know, they can be a little stiff. This is a new punch. So I do that, push it forward, and it pops up for me, okay? And then I'm going to leave it upside down because I get to stamp and then center it in here and punch instead of trying to do it the other way. I don't care if it's a clear stamp or not. If I'm trying to stamp perfectly on a little thing like that, oh yeah, that wouldn't be pretty. Instead, I get to do this and try to let it, you see too, instead of just me. And look, I'm looking for that white all the way around. That's looking really good. And with 2 hands, go ahead and punch. Oh, we've got that. Very, very nice. And like I'm saying, oops, okay, detailed. I've got something to hang on to, and I'll be able to go ahead and get another one out of this. And so I'm going to have a link to my blog post with this card with all the measurements. You could go ahead, I'm going to stick with what I have since I'm showing you, but you could go ahead and make that 1 inch smaller very easily. All right, so I've got those 2, and I also have the leaves, but I want a different color. So I've got another sheet of cardstock and surprise, surprise, mint macaron, right? That's the cardstock. I don't know if you know this, but Stampin' Up, our products come in their own exclusive colors. So it's going to coordinate beautifully the mint macaron cardstock with the mint macaron ink pad. And then in the other colors, I'll be using the Sweet Sorbet from the Country Gingham paper for this, and you'll just see it's just so eye-pleasing. All right, so again, remember, we just pick it up, slide that in, and I'm using another clear block D. I have multiples. If I'm stamping, I don't want to take them on and off, so just go ahead. Hey, it's celebration, like I said. And let's give that a, and while I'm at it, because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of these this month, this is my thank you card for January 2023. All right, and I'm showing you how to close this. I pull on that lid with a little push here. Go ahead and do that, flip, and then see, it's easy to leave it right there. We want to go ahead and clip it into place. Make sure that's closed so it doesn't dry out. So back with our country bouquet punch. Again, we'll turn it upside down, slide this in and center it. All right, oh, hey, that is looking good. Fantastic. All right. As soon as oh, it's in there. I'm gonna say as soon as I find the other piece. It's stuck in there. We'll get it. All right, come on, I'm on camera. Don't do this to me. All right, I'm gonna grab my paper snips and get that out, and then we'll go ahead and start assembling. I used my paper snips to just push it out, you know, and then it fell right out, okay? All right, so we've got all of this done, and then what I decided to do was use the Sweet Sorbet cardstock, and look at that, how beautifully it coordinates with the Sweet Sorbet designer series paper from the Country Gingham. And so we're gonna use my Stampin' Seal, and see where it's a little discolored there? Put my finger there, and often I need to just get it started, which is fine with me. Oh, well, hey, it didn't keep going. It takes a split second to do that, and we cut that to go from edge to edge. And then we'll go ahead and use the Stampin' Seal again to attach this, adhere this to the card base. And, you know, these are the colors in the Country Gingham 6x6 Designer Series paper. Honestly, I don't know that I would have put these colors together, but I am liking how this is working out. Very nice. I can't wait to show you the other colors. This was the one I thought I'd like the least. Apparently, I like it the best because it's the one I chose. All right, and so then we have our label. And I thought, oh, okay, because of the white around there, I'll have the contrast and all of that. Well, I just didn't love it. So what I decided to do instead was I cut a piece of the basic white, and that's what I stamped our flowers on. I didn't talk about the color, basic white, because you get the good, crisp, clean images, because it has a smooth, tight finish for stamping. So I cut this to fit inside the frame, and you can still see the stitching. So I still have the green that I wanted. And another added bonus is I get to add a greeting along the bottom, and I'm using I Love That We Are Friends from the Country Bouquet stamp set. So I'm bringing back the Mint Macaron pad, pick that up, slide that in, give this a good inking, and then we'll come along the bottom and straight up and down. Ah, that looks nice. So see, so much more than Valentine's Day. I could send this to a girlfriend so easily. So again, a little push, pulling that lip. Oh, you hear that click? Didn't click for me before, did it? That's the sound I'm always looking for. So we're gonna go ahead and use our Stampin' Seal again. Hey, I didn't have to get it started that time. And fit this in here. Boy, stitching, such a simple thing, but it really dresses it up. And so again, with our Stampin' Seal, I usually say 1 inch in each corner, but since this is about 2 inches, just going across does it. And, oh, look at that. That's looking sharp, isn't it? Okay. And so instead of just using the Stampin' Seal and adhering them down flat, we're going to give it a lift with Stampin' Dimensionals. I tease that these are my favorite accessory. It's just, well, we'll just lay it down and see, you'll see, just laying down. And then with it popped up with these foam adhesive dots, it's amazing what a difference these can make. All right, so I offset those two. And that's peeling off easy. If it doesn't, press down with your thumbnail and the edge comes up, all right, for you. And let's go ahead. All right, and so these others are smaller. It's not a good look when you can see the foam from the front of your card. So I have mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And everything I'm showing you is available to order in my online store. You can cut down, you can cut the larger dimensionals down, but if they sell something that makes life easier, why not just do that? All right, and so peel that backing off. I'm following the look of the heart or the punch. All right, and then on our leaves, a couple more of these. All right, I wanted that centered. Like I said, you don't want to see them. So let's do the little thumbnail. Less to grab onto with the minis. There we go. And come over here. I like that it's going outside of my white a little bit. I think that's a cool look when it goes outside of the borders of within the card, not over the edges of a card, because we want them to fit in an envelope. I figure that's my palette to work with is the edge of the card. All right, and so peel those off. Okay. As I'm telling you, usually it makes it easier. There, one more. Okay, and let's fit this in over there. How adorable, adorable. Didn't that turn out great? So our handmade card with hearts with the Country Bouquet bundle. Great girlfriend card. Great girlfriend card. You could use for Valentine's Day or just any time of the year. That's why I'm liking this set so much. This just doesn't feel solely Valentine's Day for me. So let me show you some of the other colors. I did this in the same color, but another one of the patterns. That's very country too. Loving it. That'd be the gingham. And then this was the one I made. I thought for sure I was going to demonstrate. This is Petal Pink. And the softness of it, I thought, oh, this is so pretty. Oh my goodness. And then I kept going, you know, with using the different colors and the Country Gingham Designer Series paper. Balmy Blue. That turned out sharp too. I was like really liking that. And again with the gingham pattern. And so let's look at all three, because I really was having a hard time deciding. And then I went for the Sweet Sorbet, obviously, but I like them all. I'd be thrilled to get any of these in my mailbox, and I hope you would too. But leave a comment below my video telling me which color combination you like best. If you'd like to make my handmade card with hearts with a Country Bouquet stamp set, all the supplies are listed below the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And when you place your January 2023 Stampin' Up! Order of $50 or more with me, I'm going to send you one of my handmade cards with hearts. So get on over now to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.